What is yours? Final ending. All other parts down below. 1 day later. Ex coming back from her business trip tomorrow. I really don't want to see her. Part of me really misses her though, and I am sad for that right now. I should clarify that by saying that I really miss my wife, not the ex she is now. She is back in camper tomorrow night. Gone again, sat to a wedding, and after that I don't know what's going on. Don't really know when the moving van that is loaded up goes to this new place of hers and how long it'll be before she has the kids there overnight. I'm hoping that she will be able to stay with the kids whoever she gets here tomorrow, and I can take off for the evening. Return just to crawl into bed. Going to spend a lot of time tomorrow reminding myself what she has done to me to stay strong when she is here. It's so tough when I know the kids can only see that I care about her and respect her. I'm good. We moved the camper she is staying in and the moving van to her father's place today. Her house isn't ready yet, so this is way better than her staying in the camper here. She was here with me for about 10 minutes today. I was working outside all day, so as soon as she pulled up, I showered, kissed the kids goodbye and left. Never talked to her and only saw her for a few seconds. Couldn't bring myself to even look at her. It's a self-protection thing, I know it is. If I don't see her or talk to her, then she doesn't exist and there is less pain. She spent the evening at the house getting the last few things she is taking. Have been communicating about divorce and kids via text, but I know that can't last forever. Went to see some friends and we went to the new Batman movie. It's pretty good but a little long for a guy with a lot on his mind who can't sit still. Thought about going out on the town, but I have the kids in the morning again and have a big day planned. Ex took the kids to stay at her father's tonight. The rodeo is in town this weekend where I live, so after Ex drops kids off in morning, we have a pancake breakfast to go to. Then the parade, rodeo, and midway in the afternoon. My boy, 4, is going to do mutton busting for the first time, for those that know what that is. Going to sleep now. I am understanding the part of affairs today. I have been introduced to and have been texting with a few women. Never really did this when I was single before. It really is amazing to me how fast things progress with just a few texts, Facebook chats, emails, etc. Never met them and have only seen pictures they have sent. It's turning into kind of an experiment for me. Being honest about my situation with them, that I'm just looking to meet new people and casually date. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I also have to protect my children with every decision I make. It does help the loneliness I feel after the children are sleeping and I'm alone with my thoughts. I can kind of understand how when a woman isn't feeling good about her life or her marriage, like my ex, she could find an outlet with this. Her relationship with the other man while we were married was 99% texting and emails. Yet she claims to love him based on this, and she sacrificed our marriage and family to keep this going. It is fun, it is exciting, and the person in the other end becomes almost perfect as long as they are saying the right things. Of course, I realize it's all a fantasy, and they will never live up to the expectations my mind has already set. Just after the kids are sleeping and the house is clean, that's when is the hardest. Can't head outside and do my guy stuff because the kids might wake up. Can only talk to my friends and family so much. I live out on an acreage, so it's not like it's easy for a friend to come hang out, and they all have lives and families of their own. I'm going a little stir crazy, not to mention that this is the longest I've went without anything physical since I was a teenager. I miss it. Days later, had a rough day. Went to my grandfather's funeral. My grandfather had a great long life, so it wasn't the funeral that got me down. It was more of a celebration. It was the family stuff. I have a large family, and it was the first time since the separation that I have seen most of them. Everyone was asking, "Where's your wife?" I felt very alone as everyone was with their wife, husband, and kids. Then after, of course, some of the photographers in the family wanted family pictures of everyone. Once again, not a cool feeling. Even during the PowerPoint slideshow of my grandfather's life, all I could think about was myself. All I could think about were the experiences he had with his wife and family. Stuff I don't have now that my family is broken. Throughout the slideshow they had everyone's family pictures. When it got to mine, it was a bad photograph of myself and my 2 kids. I felt like everyone was looking at me with pity. Like I said, rough day. Weeks later, I actually am doing really good. That's why I haven't really been around here lately. Everything pretty much locked down with the separation and divorce proceedings. Life going on. I actually kind of met someone. I have my first date in a long time tonight. Kind of nervous, but so is she. She's a single mother in a similar situation. Just going for a beer and getting to know each other. Yes, the beer was her idea. Hi. Sending love to everyone on here. Smile today. I am just going to bed after my date. It was good. She was really nice. Thought it might be weird for me. First date since the separation and all, but I was fine. Enjoyed myself. Made it clear to her I wasn't wanting a relationship soon. Just wanted to date and have fun. Just kissed her goodnight. She has already texted me saying she really wants to see me again. I think the feeling I'm getting from her today is that she likes me too much. Not sure how I feel about that. Let's be honest. I'm on the rebound, but I don't want to hurt anybody. Is it okay to tell her I like her and would like to see her again, but also want to stay open to dating other people? I've always been a one-woman man, so this is new to me. I don't want a relationship right now, but I love women and want to spend time with one at a time. I think emotionally I'm doing okay. But it's only been a couple months and to be honest I'm really starting to enjoy my freedom. There are lots of good things about marriage but some not so good things that I don't miss right now. I am enjoying not having to think how my ex is going to react to everything I do. If I want to do it, I do it. If I want to buy it, I buy it. Kind of liking it right now. I love my kids and it sucks only having them half of the time but when they are with their mom. I have all this free time, and quiet and freedom. I do want to try new things, and new women. The girl does not want to date me if I'm going to date other people. Can't really blame her, I guess. Said we see each other again and see what happens. I'm not ready. I better tell her tonight. I'll just hurt her more the longer I wait. If I should keep seeing her, I should really want to and I am unsure. If I'm unsure I shouldn't. Well, I'm officially a jerk who probably earned everything that happened to me. I started dating a girl. She was really nice and we had lots in common. Spent the weekend together and yes, it got physical. I was honest with her the whole time about what I was ready for. Did not want a relationship. Of course, after the weekend it turned into a where is this going talk. I wanted to stay open to dating other people and she did not. Conversation progressed from there. So basically, I slept with her then dumped her. Like I said, I'm a jerk, feeling guilty as hell today. Better now than dragging it out, I guess. Feel free to lay on the hate. I deserve it. I am getting divorced. Still with lawyers putting the finishing touches on it. A week or two later, I ended things with the girl I was dating. She has not taken it well. I'm just enjoying the summer. Bought a couple kayaks yesterday and am going to try them out today. I had a bad day this week. Was really depressed over my ex but I think it's a normal thing. Next day I felt good again. After a month. Just thought I would give an update. I am doing great. A few little things to settle for the divorce but other than that it's done. Kids are doing okay but it can still be hard on them some days. Doing the best I can with them. Ex and I ain't getting along okay for them and trying to make it easy on them. She is still dating the OM and has even introduced the kids to him. They don't know that he's more than just her friend and I hope she's smart enough to keep it that way for a little longer. Me, I am happier than I can remember being. I realize how impossibly hard it was for me to try and love a cheater. Once I got over the fear of an unknown future everything changed. I feel like such a weight has been lifted. I have a great girlfriend now and admittedly she is a big part of how I feel. She's amazing and puts a smile on my face every day. She is in a very similar situation to mine. She is at about the same stage in her divorce as mine and has a child the same age as mine as well. We may be leaning on each other and some might say we are each other's rebounds but it does not feel that way. We have a great time together and it feels right. Life is good. To all those going through what I went through, it gets better. It gets a lot better. This girl wanted more than to just date also but with her I did too. I really like her. I don't want to date anyone else. I want to see where it goes with her. We are not involving the kids at all and no plans to. Only see each other when kids are with our exes. I know we are probably each other's rebounds but we give each other stuff that maybe we both need right now. Emotionally and physically. We both feel good when we are together and that can't be a bad thing. We don't even live in the same town it's easy to keep the lives with the kids separate. We are only dating each other. If that means girlfriend then I have a girlfriend. I just heard another nice girl who was stupid enough to date me. She fell for me and I broke it off. Why? Not really sure. She was cute, sweet and really liked me. Second girl I've made cry this month. The screwed up part is I don't even feel bad or guilty. This isn't me. I never been like this to women. I'm alone again but feel okay with that now. Maybe because it's my choice now. I'm just going to work, keep working out, and be a dad. See how long this plan lasts. Days later, things are good. I've been dating and also trying to maintain a good friendly relationship with my ex but at times this can be difficult. You would think I should be the one that's angry, picking fights and ignorant but it's the other way around. I don't understand it. My feelings for her are gone. I can be around her and not feel any hurt or pain. I want us to get along well for the kids but she does not seem to want this. Always wants to fight. When we start getting along okay, she has to start something to bring the tension back. We are close to getting the divorce agreement totally done. Just on issue left regarding if any one of us ever move what would happen with the children. Right now, we are 1 week to 1 week, and I want something clarified in case she moves to the town her boyfriend lives in. I'm worried it would turn into a court battle later on. On the dating front things are good. I'm really enjoying being single again. I'm not feeling lonely at all. I've been more honest up front with the women I date about what I am looking for right now. I have only been dating when I don't have my children and have kept them totally separated from that part of my life. I know I've said this before but all of you were right when you said that I would not have a problem meeting women. There are so many women that are looking to meet someone like me. I just have to make sure I'm honest and not hurting or using anyone. I had a great time on the weekend with a woman who seems to be looking for exactly what I am but I've heard that before so I'll have to be careful. Usually, it's about now when what they are saying begins to change and they want more. Sometime later, divorce still going through lawyers. I'm dating, working and have my children half the time. Doing good. Feelings for my ex are gone. I try to get along but sometimes we have issues about the children. She is still with the OM. She has introduced the children to him and involved them in their life fully. I hate it, but there is not much I can do. Things are well. 2 weeks later, I signed my divorce today. Just waiting for certificate. So, an update is in order, I guess. Me and my ex have both moved. She lives in a small town with the OM. I live in a city about 45 minutes away. The kids live with them primarily, but I have them every weekend, holidays, etc. I am involved in their lives as much as I can be. They just started in their new school a few weeks ago and it's been an adjustment for them. I have a new job, new home, new city, new friends, and new life. I needed to start again, so I did right after Christmas last year. I don't have any regrets and things are going okay. I have a good time and interesting life now, but I miss the kids a lot. There really is no work for me where my ex lives, so I think this arrangement we have is going to have to do for now. I've been dating a lot and enjoying the single life. I think I dated half the city at this point. Everyone on here who said don't be scared to be single were right. I've gotten in great shape and am not a bad-looking guy. It's been pretty easy to meet women, and because of what I went through during the breakdown of my marriage, I am a pretty strong, fearless, confident man. Turns out that's kind of sexy. I did fall in love with an amazing woman who has been through a lot of the same things as me. I never really told her how I felt and ran away from her twice now because I'm kind of scared of being in a serious relationship again. I had gotten really good at being single and either wasn't ready to give that up or I just can't trust yet. Still working through that. I have asked her for another chance, but she wants me to prove to her that I'm serious about how I feel. No idea how to do that or if I should do anything. With what I've learned through my divorce and dating this last year, which by the way was made pretty easy by what I learned about the nature of people by chatting on here, I think pulling out all the stops won't work. I'm guessing she's already decided if I'm going to get another chance. If she's decided she's done with me, then no matter what I do, it won't make a difference. It'll just appear despite a need which will push her away. Plus, I am neither. I just miss her. If she has decided to give me another chance, then if I'm patient, then she'll come around. I still have some anger, but there are kids involved on both sides. Need to be civil. Plus, with primary custody, she has a lot of control over my life with the kids and how much money she spends in them that I have to pay. If I play nice, my life is a lot easier. It's a lot better than what I went through, but if I could go back to before the cheating, I might. I don't miss my ex, but I miss my old life sometimes. It's different now. Better in some ways, not in other ways. It's just a totally different life and I'm doing okay. I had a really good night with the woman I want to make it work with last night. She's still unsure I can follow through with what I tell her, but she is going to give me a chance. She's an angel. Took me a while to see it, but I'm going to try my best to hold into her. Half a year later, an amazing woman and her 2 daughters are moving in with me this month and the ring is on order. We plan on having a long engagement but do not want to move in together without that commitment to each other and to show the children. I've talked about her in my last update. We met over a while ago and dated most of the time. I ended it a few times for reasons I didn't really understand at the time. I did it again one more time after my last update. I kept pulling away every time we started to get really serious until things fell apart. Then as soon as it ended, I wanted her back. I feel very lucky that she is with me now. I had no interest in anyone else. Anyway, the last time it happened, I sought therapy because I knew I loved her and wanted to be with her. Just had unresolved issues from my divorce I need to continue working on. She also has security issues from being cheated on, so we are quite the pair. While very much in love, but use counseling to ensure that we are communicating properly and stay on track. Some might say if you need counseling you shouldn't be together, but we both enjoy it and it strengthens our relationship. We treat them as dates nights as well. She is my best friend and I finally understand what that means and is like. She has 2 beautiful daughters that I adore and love me. They don't have a strong father figure, so they have become very close to me. My children love my girlfriend as well and her daughters. They all decided we were a family long before we decided to become one. Life's good. My ex and I have an okay relationship and I also have an okay relationship with the OM. Yes, they are still together. Happy and in love, as much as many on here would think or hope otherwise. He's good to my kids and takes good care of my ex. I always say besides the fact he slept with my wife, he's not a bad guy. Lol. My children still live primarily with my ex, but my girlfriend and I want to move closer so we can do shared custody again. But it's in the control of my girlfriend's ex to allow us to move the children. He works out of town and only has his daughters every 3rd weekend. We'll see what happens in the next little while. Anyways, that's a brief update. My ex hasn't asked for forgiveness, so I guess I never thought about it. She has said she's sorry, but usually followed by an excuse. It's not an I'm sorry, and if I could go back, I would do things different sorry. It's I'm sorry I got caught before I could divorce you and you got hurt worse kind of sorry. She's not sorry for splitting up her family to be with other man and never would admit it even if she was. You will reach a day where it won't even matter to you. One day you'll just stop caring about the whole thing and realize you've moved on. She does text me a lot if the going on in her day and life. I laugh in my head because she thinks I really give a crap. I really don't unless it involves the kids. I usually just play nice though because it costs me less in money and time with kids. So, Stone though for fun I make witty or sarcastic comments until she gets pissed. Usually takes her a while to catch on though. Blonde lol. I still hurt sometimes but it's usually when my children are laying with me at night or cuddling on couch. I hurt for them and what they've lost and for myself that we can't be in each other's lives every day like we should be. That's the only thing that bothers me and that will never change. I guess for those wondering about Karma Bus, she had a previous medical condition that became complicated when she became sick with simple slap face disease. She has braces on both her legs and uses a cane now. She is handicapped and on disability. It's not funny or anything I feel good or take pleasure in, but it is what it is. Other man had a massive heart attack about a year ago and nearly died. He is fine now but has to be careful and is on meds. The other man wife did go after him hard. My ex told me the financial details for some reason. She made out with over 7 figures that he makes 100,000 payments on. It causes them a lot of stress. My wife says terrible things about how she screwed them, which I think is too funny because that's what they deserved. They are not breaking because of it but could be better. It's Friday. Life's good. No more ex talks for me today. Heading home soon to work on a dog run with the future wife. Love her so much. Her 2 big dogs are moving in as well as the 2 girls. With 4 kids under 8 between the 2 of us, it's going to be a full house. I'm really not a fan of big dogs in the city or house, but I've accepted it. Haven't accepted dog crap on my lawn though. Hence the dog run I need to finish. My comment, OP dodged one and got to trade up. OP, I wish you nothing but true happiness with your new family. Story 2. My story is I have been married for almost 12 years. I was always happy for the most part. Sure, we had our arguments from time to time, but I was happy. We have a son that is about to turn 10 and a daughter who is 6. My wife has been unhappy at times and told me at different times that she didn't feel like there was any communication between us, and she said I wasn't there for her emotionally. This last January she said we needed to talk, and she informed me that I needed to find someplace to live. That we needed to separate. I talked to her and said that is not what I wanted and said I could do better. After about a week she agreed to me not moving out. I thought things were going fine, and she even commented to me that she told one of the girls she works with that I was doing a lot better and that I really seemed to be listening to her and paying more attention to her. By early March she was planning a trip the weekend of my first to run a marathon with her sister. She wanted me to go. I told her I would like to go, but I couldn't because I couldn't take off work the Friday before and Monday after the marathon. Plus, my son was in a baseball tournament that weekend and I helped coach his team, and I would also have my daughter. She got really mad at me because I wasn't going to go with her. We got through that, so I thought, she gets real bad anxiety when she flies, so a couple days before she left, we were talking in bed and she said she was starting to get nervous about flying to California for the marathon. I asked her about her flights and tried to calm her, saying that this flight will only be a couple of hours and that flight will only be an hour and a half. She says I know, but I'm still nervous. I got mad from this small argument and walked into the living room for a while, then went back to bed. She called me at work the day she left and said she was sorry for the other night and that she loved me and there were some things we still need to work on. I told her I loved her too and agreed. I talked and texted her a few times while she was gone and I could tell there was something wrong. I picked the kids up early on Monday so they would be there when she got home. When she got home the kids ran and hugged her and I gave her a hug, but she was cold as ice. We walked in the house and she went to lay down and I walked in the bedroom and she said we need to talk. You need to find a place. I begged, pleaded and everything else for a week, but no give. She said she needed space, so I rented an apartment. Was there for a week and she called and said we needed to talk. So I went by there and she said she was scheduling an appointment with a mediator, that she wanted a divorce. I work an odd shift schedule, 1 month of nights and then 1 month of days. So we told the kids I was living in the apartment so I can sleep during the day when I work nights. My son cried and said he didn't want me to live anywhere else. I teared up and she gave me a look from Satan himself and said I was going to have to control myself. We went to the mediator and split everything, including the kids 50-50. She filed in June and our last court date is early November. We have done some things together with the kids, like a family vacation, but I don't know how to act towards her. When we were on the vacation a couple of weeks ago, I didn't say a whole lot to her and she said in front of the kids, I know you usually don't say much, but the silence is defining. This only confirms everything. My son looked at me and said he has been talking. She shot back at him that he needed to stay out of the conversation. We went to the wrestling show a couple weeks ago together, and at dinner before the event my STBX asked my son what he wanted for his birthday and he said, my dad to move back home. She snapped back as cold and mean as I have ever heard. Well, that's not going to happen. So if you want something you better think of something else. I'm sorry for such a long post, I just don't know who this person is. She would have never said anything like the things she is saying to the kids now. After she said that to my son about his birthday, she went to the bathroom and my son says to me she's not always like this, and I said like what? And he said like this, "She is only like this when we are all together. I'm wondering if she just tries to be in a bad mood or tries to start arguments in front of the kids to justify to them that is why the divorce is happening. That mom and dad argue too much to stay together. My first mistake, moving out. She actually said to me, if you don't move out I am. I should have let her, but I had no clue it was going to crumble this fast. I moved out second week of May and third week of May went to mediator. Someone else was one of the first things I asked. She said no. Her sister and brother-in-law said no. And I really don't think there was because I think he would have surfaced by now or I think she would have told me to be honest. She likes to throw the divorce in my face a lot and tell me what a screw-up I am and how I caused this whole mess. I work nights sometimes so I have to sleep during the day. Last night I called to see if I could get the kids today after work and she said no. Why don't I go back to sleeping all day and see the kids for 15 minutes before I go to work? I think she is seeing that I am doing better. So now she is going to try and hurt me with the kids. I think she tries to be in a bad mood and start arguments in front of the kids to justify her decisions in their eyes. Mom and Dad can't be together because we argue. But it is always her doing the arguing and my son picks up on it. We were over at the house the other day because the kids wanted to stop and say hi. And she started to kind of ridicule me about a hitting lesson for my son. He immediately jumped up and said, "Let's go. My wife and I are separated, about to officially be divorced November 4th. She filed, "I don't want the divorce. I admit I got complacent in the marriage and didn't show enough love and appreciation as I should have, obviously, or we wouldn't be where we are. I never stopped loving my wife or our 2 children. I guess I just didn't show it enough. We separated in early May and at first, I did the usual begging and pleading. Later I found out that is what you don't want to do. So I backed off. When I have the kids on my weekends, she said she doesn't do good without them and she can't sleep. She feels alone. I told her that I love her and don't want this and that we can work on our problems. She said it is just weird that I want to work on the relationship now. That she can't go backwards, and it is too little too late. I just can't understand how a parent who misses their kids so much is willing to see them half the time and give up on the marriage. She says she has worked on our marriage the last 11 years and she is exhausted and has no work left in her. She said she doesn't know if she can forgive herself for the misfortune that this will affect our kids, 10 and 6. But is not willing to stay and work on the marriage. There is no other man that I know of and no drinking, drugs or anything of the sort, just that I haven't been there for her emotionally and she says we have grown apart. I just don't understand how you can just give up on your marriage and be willing to see your kids half of the time, but then cry because you don't do good without the kids. I guess she has been hurt by me more than the hurt of missing our kids. Not physically but emotionally hurt, not feeling loved. She has given and I didn't give back early on, but later on it really was neither of us giving love. What she says is true. We became really good roommates. I guess the reason I haven't lost my cool so far is because I know it is her hurt that is talking and taking control of her actions. I did buy the Love Dare book and watch the movie. I left it for her to watch but she never did. I started the dare, but really hard to do living separate and the dares I was supposed to get feedback from her. She wouldn't respond, so I gave up on that so far. I am trying to be patient, but boy it sure is hard. I ask the Lord to help me every day for patience. I am waiting for the shell to crack for sure and at times I think it may be. But then the door slams in my face. It is just so true that you really do see things when it may be too late. I just keep praying and chugging along doing what I can. I really think she just hates me. I know she blames me for the situation we are in and everything else for that matter. I had to take my son's uniform and baseball bag to him before I came to work tonight. I rang the doorbell and my son opened the door. I walked in and set his stuff by the door. My daughter came around the corner to say hi. My ex was in the kitchen. She never said anything and I didn't either. She went into another part of the house and I went into the kitchen to see if I had any mail there. I told my son bye and went into my daughter's room to tell her bye and I left, never saying a word to the ex. I got halfway to work and I thought I felt my phone vibrate. I pulled it out of my pocket and looked and it was a missed call from her phone. I didn't know if it was her or my son so I called back. It went straight to voicemail. So I called again and she answered. I asked if it was her or my son that called and she said it dialed by accident. I said okay and hung up. She never had an affair to my knowledge. I do still love the woman I married, but unfortunately that is not who I am dealing with. The woman I am dealing with now is a cold, sarcastic, and selfish witch. And no, I don't love this woman. I got home this morning from work and got about 3 hours of sleep and got up to go to my son's baseball games. She called just before I jumped in the shower and said she couldn't remember how to get to the fields, so I told her once again. I got to the game and my daughter and her were kicking a football around and I went and hugged my daughter and told her hi. I said nothing to my ex. My parents showed up and sat next to me and the ex sat on the other side of my parents and daughter. She mentioned a couple of times that I needed to tell my son to do this or that and I just said I know. But other than that I never said a word to her. I guess I am starting to get a handle on this 180 thing kind of. I haven't really gotten mad during this whole situation. Frustrated, yes, but not necessarily angry. Well, last night my mind was turning and the anger is really starting to set in. She has torn our family apart and I only get to see my kids half the time. I have to start all over in life. My kids will never be in a traditional family ever again just because she is looking for greener pasture. She said it wasn't a bad marriage, it just wasn't a great marriage. I admit it wasn't great, but where we are now is horrible for everyone involved except her, obviously. It just pisses me off that she has made this choice. But there is nothing I can do but make the most of my time with the kids when I have them and move on. You are right, the emotions are everywhere, but I can really start to feel the anger now. I have to keep that in check. I just get so down about the kids because I know they miss both of us when they are with one or the other. It just breaks my heart because I know how much I miss them when they aren't with me. So if they feel anything remotely close to that, it is just wrong. Our divorce is final and, in our agreement, I let her keep the house. I know, really dumb on my part. I took nothing for the business that we started together and she got the house. I guess that is the blowback from being a nice guy. I get to walk away with just my stuff and start all over. A quick claim deed is just to get my name off the title. At least we do have joint custody and I get my kids half the time, better than every other weekend. This is where the anger comes in. If I would have known she was going to be such a witch, then I would not have been such a nice guy and gave her everything. I just really didn't think it was going to end up like this. Lesson learned, but expensive lesson. Like comment, I just wanted to include the second story to remind you guys. You can't just be nice. A relationship needs a lot more than just kindness. A friendship only requires kindness. A relationship demands a lot more. You agree? I woke up early to finish this story for you guys. Hope you appreciate it. Let me grab my usual nap and prepare